This will be the final train of the day for Lane 2. Please take care not to miss it. The doors are now closing. Please stand clear.
What will happen to Kazusa from now on? I'm sure those who know her only as Tomo Yoko's daughter, world-famous young pianist, would say something like the following. Take after the path your mother took. Or, travel the world like your mother. Or, your mother can't keep at it anymore even if she tried. And in response to those people, I'd probably say something like, don't go running your mouth about something you know nothing about in an indignant rage. It's nothing so simple. She doesn't have that kind of resolve. After all, she actually is a really weak person. She's incredibly naive and without determination. She doesn't live in the normal reality most people live in. Not only that, even in the unnatural reality she lives in, she still is a true genius who managed to improve through effort, independent of her talent and painful fantasies.
The train on Line 1 towards Anjuku will depart shortly. Please stay within the white lines.
And now, she has broken down at her very foundation, losing everything she built up, all because of a nobody like me. Can I still ask her to gather her resolve despite that? Can I ask her whether she still intends to hold the concert as planned, and how she plans to live her life from now on? Can I ask her whether she'll live in Japan with her mother just as Yoko-san wants her to? Or if she'll convince Yoko-san to return to Vienna with her? Or perhaps, if she plans to go down the path Yoko-san was supposed to go down, standing above countless people and challenging the world together. Or if she plans to go down the path Yoko-san was supposed to go down, but unwilling to rely on others and challenge the entire world by herself. Or perhaps, am I supposed to tell her how to give up? Am I supposed to tell her that the man she loved, the man who loved her, doesn't exist anymore? Am I supposed to tell her to face the fact that our feelings just never came to fruition? And that goes for the both of us?
The train on Line 2 is departing. The doors are closing. Please stand clear.
Or perhaps, this really is the worst imaginable possibility. But she might end up abandoning both her mother and her piano. Will she turn her back on the world she has lived in up until now and shut herself into a new, tiny world that she herself desires? Will she turn her back on the expectations her surroundings have for her, as well as the feelings of her family? Will she feign strength despite her weak heart and approach a future where any semblance of a normal world would be ruined? How ridiculous. Of course she isn't capable of that. She could never make such a dreadful choice. She will stand still in one place, crying all the while. That's why such a possibility is impossible. In other words, that's not something she is capable of alone. It's a future that is physically impossible for her to reach, assuming that no one gives her a push from behind. If that's the case, if she can't decide by herself, will someone else decide her life for her? Will someone tell her what to choose? But wouldn't that be the same as determining her life for her? Doing so might be arrogant. It might be the deed of a devil who toys with the lives of people. But does that mean that it's okay for that person to do nothing? Is it okay for that someone to not protect Kazusa? At some point, the date changed. Regardless, the windows of the editing department are lit up like always, but the person I want to rely on the most isn't there anymore. It's been 2 whole years after all. The person I owe so much to. The person who taught me how to survive in society before I entered it.
Leave it to me. Even if the chief editor says no, your article should be in the magazine on release.
Mari-san, I've done my best. I've worked the hardest I can so I could follow in your footsteps, even if only a little bit. I'm still only in my first year, but I've gained a bit of confidence. Thanks to that, I've fostered valuable bonds with people, and lots of precious ties of obligation with society. Mari-san, what would you do right now? Would you still choose work? Would you choose your bonds with people? Would you choose your obligations to society? I don't know anymore. So, could you come back? Could you become my superior once more? And could you guide me again?
You're pretty naive, aren't you, Kidahara? You're quite fragile, and you always seem to only put the blame on yourself. Is that why you got so depressed? Because there was nobody you could ask for forgiveness afterward. In that case, I won't blame you. And so, I won't forgive you either.
That's right. I made a promise back then. I promised to decide by myself, to not leave things in the hands of others, to not pander to other people's opinions, and to not beg for forgiveness, even if that means ignoring the thoughts and feelings of everyone around me. I promised to resolve myself and carry all the responsibility by myself. I promised to be that someone. The streets of Anjuku, where the last train has already departed. Without looking for a warm place, I aimlessly sit down on a roadside guardrail. Exposed to the cold wind, the canned coffee in my hand is the only thing keeping me warm. Even when I look up, the thick clouds conceal every star in the sky. A night unbearable for people to loiter in. But in my thoughts, I see the warm expressions of all the people I've come to know, entering and leaving my mind. Takia, Io, Yanagihira-san, and the people I've known since high school. Classmates, upperclassmen, and underclassmen. Hamada-san, Kizaki-san, Suzuki-san, Matsuoko-san, the managing editor, and the chief editor. My co-workers and superiors, who are where I should be right now. Aside from them, there are many people who I've met during work, as well as people whom I met in private. People of all ages and genders. And then there are those who are more like family to me than my real family. Setsuna's mom and dad, and Takahiro-kun. And then there's the person who I treasure more than anyone in my life, and who has treasured me more than anyone in her life. There were, of course, times where there was trouble between us, when we were annoyed at each other's attitude, and when we made each other mad. Things were not perfect, but through communication and honesty, we always made up. We always returned to our usual warm smiles before long. Lukewarm. That's why she, too, someday, she will learn to naturally smile warmly in front of other people, just like everyone else. Even if it's painful for her, even if she's forcing herself, she'll definitely be able to live with a smile. I'm certain. How many percent is certain? Is it 100%? Is it absolute? Will she, of all people, manage to connect with many others? Can she show them her smile and make them happy? And as a result, will they make her happy in return? What kind of fantasy is that? Can I believe in such a pipe dream? Am I even allowed to make myself believe it? I have memories with countless people. I have an innumerable amount of connections with society. That doesn't just go for the past, even now. I met new people every day, and through those meetings, I establish more connections with society. My world may be a small one that bears no resemblance to Kazusa's world, but I'm thoroughly connected to every corner of it. Unlike Kazusa's world, mine is a world that is open to the outside. Unlike Kazusa's world, mine is a world that is open to the outside. When I live in such a vastly different world from her, it's not possible for me to say, she'll be fine, as if I know what it's like. As I was trying to pass the night walking around in circles, God decided not to forgive me. At last, it started falling. It fell on the day we made our promise to always be together, the three of us. It fell on the day when three became one, as two broke away. It fell on the day when two separated, became a pair of ones. It fell on the day when the pair of ones tried to become two again, but couldn't bring themselves to forgive each other. It fell on the day where the pair of ones swore to become two again, after having hurt each other countless times. It fell on the day when two became three again, and it's falling today. That's right. It has to be today. Today, I arrived at the crossroads of my life, as well as that of the three of us. The decision I make today will end up affecting the lives of the many people around me.
Weren't you the one who left me first? Weren't you the one who went to a place beyond my reach first? What's wrong with falling in love with a loser?
After all, ever since that day, winter has always been what set my fate into emotion. It was always snowing on those days. It was always snowing. My chest hurts. Something presses against me. Something much more bitter and painful than the permeating cold of winter and the freezing snow. It's telling me that I can't run away anymore. It's telling me I have to make one of two choices. And one of those choices is one I thought I already made. The snow seeps through me. A pain intense enough to tear off my heart and tear my body apart assaults me from within. Why do I have to hesitate so much when I'm supposed to have made up my mind once in the past already? I know what the right thing to do is. I know that it's right, precious, and joyful. Despite that, I hesitate because this will be my final choice. If Kazusa can't decide, then I will. I will obey only my feelings and choose the one person more precious to me than anyone else in the world. Who do I want to make happy? Who can I be with and not regret it, even if it's the wrong choice? I can't back out anymore. This will be my final choice. Let me think about this until the snow stops falling. So, if possible, don't stop falling until sunrise at least. February 14th, Thursday. We bring you the news for February 14th, Valentine's Day. Let's start with a report from Miley Sports. Toma Kazusa's additional concert to be cancelled? Following the positive reception of her first concert in Japan held in January, pianist Toma Kazusa has made plans to hold an additional concert near the end of this month. However, recent statements made by related sources have cast doubt upon any further performances being held due to poor health. Neither Kazusa-san nor her producer and mother, Tomoyoko-san, have made any appearances before the press since that previous concert. Thus, it is likely that her health has indeed deteriorated since the previous concert, and that she is currently recuperating in a hospital somewhere within the metropolitan area. In fact, just last week, an ambulance was dispatched late at night to the hotel where Kazusa-san was thought to have been staying. Eyewitness reports on the scene expressed the possibility that the woman carried out at the time was Kazusa-san herself, adding further concerns to whether the additional concert will be held. Furthermore, a statement made by Tomoyoko office last night had this to say regarding the issue. We have received no such report and are currently investigating the matter. Tickets for Toma Kazusa's first concert in Japan sold out within an hour, putting the demand for her performance at an unprecedented level for a classical musician.
What's the meaning of this advertisement? It was supposed to be 2,100 yen, right? Why does it suddenly cost 3,150 now? Even if it's a special issue, the price for this is... You're saying that I strongly insisted it to be so? What do you mean by that? Huh? I haven't heard anything about this at all. How did things end up like this? Yeah. What did you just say? But wasn't that all already decided in the plan from the very beginning? Did Yoshimatsu-san tell you about all that? No, like I said, it wasn't me. So, that means... It seems that the both of us have been deceived by our subordinates. Yeah, I totally understand. At any rate, I'm going to discuss it with him in person now. Well, if you'll excuse me. Kitahara! Kitahara, where did you run off to, you bastard?
Oh, shut up already! Jeez! If you're looking for Kitahara, he went home immediately after the briefing earlier. He did show his face before you came to work, though.
Did he run away?
The special issue of Ensemble is already nearing its deadline anyway, so I'd say you can't expect things to not be busy on his end. Although, he's at the bottom of the pyramid when it comes to work on Kyograph. He has the widest scope of work capability amongst all of the members here, huh? I guess they don't call him Kazuoka II for nothing.
This isn't the time for this nonsense. Things suddenly just got really awry with that special issue.
What do you mean, really awry? Are you telling me we've suddenly got our hands on Toma Kazusa's nude gravure photos? No, I imagine we'd get rewarded by the president for that.
Sure, I guess this can be considered a scoop in some ways. Still, how did a plan like this even get arranged? Still, how did a plan like this even get approved? How did they suddenly decide on a collaboration out of the blue?
A collaboration? Things are suddenly really escalating now, huh? Can we please not forget something? You know that he's still a rookie in the first year, right?
And while all this is happening, rumors about the additional concert being canceled all over the place. I just don't get any of this. What in the world have you done, Kitahara?
You have reached the voicemail for this number. Please leave your message within 30 seconds after the beep.
Sorry for keeping you waiting. I finally settled things on my end. What's wrong? You still can't reach him? I've only been receiving voicemail requests throughout the week. What in the world is going on with you, Haruki? Hasn't he been working overtime for the past couple of days due to his deadline approaching? If I recall correctly, he's responsible for that issue that's coming out next month, isn't he? He'd still at least say something to us, even if that were the case. And even then, today is... Does he have any intention of making it? We can only trust that he will. There's no way Haruki would ever forget what day it is today. Still, don't you think those two have been acting strangely recently? It seems that they're wary about meeting us. And Setsuna-chan didn't really give me anything to work with when I inquired about things on her end. Well, she said we're both busy, didn't she? So it's only the fact that they really can't help it at the moment, that's all? Could he have gotten himself involved in Toma's affairs again? Stop saying things like that. Well, come on. There's already news about her public performance being canceled, right? He's absolutely going to be bothered by that. Maybe He's even gone off to where Toma is right now.
Like I said, just stop. You're going to make me feel uneasy too at this rate.
Well, regardless of all that, there's no way things can happen between Toma and Haruki the way they are now. Yeah, that's just not possible.
And you can't even reassure yourself properly despite causing me to worry?
At any rate, we have to make sure that everything's all right today. It's about time we headed over, right? I assume Setsuna-chan's already returned home as well.
Now that you mention it, actually, ever since this morning,
Well, I take it you were the one who let that report slip, Mio-chan?
Whispers were spreading amongst the media that your health had been failing recently. So I thought I'd mislead them with a false clue.
I see. Once it's made known that Kazusa was fine all along, people will be less trustworthy when my illness is reported on.
It was you who taught me how to turn a crisis into an opportunity.
I would expect no less of Tomoyoko's office best employee. Thanks.
I also happen to be the only employee in the Japanese branch. So, is she still not ready?
Yes, she hasn't taken so much as even a step out of the guest room. She has been keeping this up for a week now, though.
I see.
I do check on her 3 times a day, but she still refuses to open the door for me.
I'm sorry, Mio-chan. My daughter is causing you a lot of trouble.
It's okay. I understand her feelings almost too well.
I really doubt that.
I'm so shocked I want to cry too. What would happen to Tomoyoko's office if you tired?
Well, let's worry about that when I leave the hospital. More importantly, how's preparations for the next concert going?
All preparations aren't already in order on that end, be it to commence it or to revoke it. Part of the reason I spread that report was in order to do this.
You truly are Tomoyoko's office best employee.
The moment you make your decision, I started working on everything on all sides, minimizing the possible damage.
Thank you, Mio-chan. But don't worry, the additional concert will commence on schedule.
Is it really possible? Truth be told, the way that Kazusa-san is right now, I can't see her returning to her usual playing quality within 2 weeks.
The show must go on nevertheless. While I'm at it, I've assigned her with an errand before the concert. The person responsible for the affair will be heading your way tonight.
Huh? What are you saying, President? Do you not understand the current situation at all?
Mother and daughter of the Toma family are now terminally ill and lovesick, respectively, and their lives as pianists are thus on the line. Did I get that right?
If you understand that, then please reconsider. What are you thinking? Adding an extra burden onto her when we already have to be so careful about how to go about her next concert.
Well, the truth is, I'm actually quite nervous myself. I did wonder if I ended up going too far this time.
If you know that, then...
Still, it's paramount that we actually use such a drastic measure this time. After all, it's not something that can be solved unless we're in Japan.
But she's not willing to see anyone in her current state, you know? She doesn't even allow me to go in her room and check her, so...
I don't think we'll have any problems with that in this case. Mio-chan, when the person in charge arrives, you can simply lead him to a room.
I won't be responsible for anything that happens thereafter, right?
Yes, that's fine. After all, the person arriving is someone who my little girl won't see herself running away from.
I don't really get what's going on, but I'll listen to you. That's my job after all.
I'm really sorry for troubling you all the time, you know. I'll give you a raise for your severance payment then.
Even if you're joking, please don't take it in such an ominous direction.
That will be all then, Mio-chan. I'll be leaving the rest to you.
Jesus! Lovesick? Excuse me, please open the door? There's a guest waiting for you in the lobby right now. The president has also given me directions to tell you that you have to meet with the person. Please, come out already. Even if it's only to eat something, at least. Today I won't back down so easily, okay? Until you give me a response, I'll be waiting right here, alright? Are you alright? Are you awake? Are you even properly conscious right now? I'm begging you, don't make us worry any more than you already have. I'm sorry.
Kazusa-san? It's you, isn't it? Kazusa-san?
I'm sorry, Miyoko-san. I really sorry.
Thank goodness. In any case, does that mean you're okay, right? Are you hungry?
It's fine. I don't want to eat anything.
Kazusa-san.
I don't know anymore. I don't know anything anymore.
For now, please open the door. Let's just calm down and have a little chat, alright?
I can't. I simply can't see anyone right now. I wouldn't even know what to say or what to do if I did.
That's exactly why you need to get in contact with someone. You won't come up with a good solution all of a sudden just by brooding all by yourself in there, you know?
But I just can't anymore. I don't want to stay in this country anymore. I want to go back to Vienna.
But the president, what about your mother?
I don't know. I just said I don't know anything anymore. It's because I don't know what to do anymore that I have to run away from here. And yet, I can't even bring myself to run from this hopeless state I'm in. I've already finished packing a long time ago, but I can't even get out of here. I can't do anything. I can't decide anything. I can't even move. There's no value in living on anymore. Go home for today. Don't worry, I'm still alive. And I'm still living my life shamefully.
Yes, she's in this room. Correct. But as I thought, she's still under the weather.
Hmm?
Yes. So I can't do anything more for today. Eh? But that's...
Miyoko-san?
Yes, that Toma told me that. Is it okay if I put my faith in you?
Well, I'll hang up now.
Please wait a moment, Kazusa-san. I'm giving the phone over to someone else right now.
Giving it? But who?
Thank you for taking care of me all this time. I'm Okuso from Knight's Record. It's been a long time, Kazusa.
The snow stopped falling before the hour was even over. A far cry from my hope that it would last until morning. There's still some time before the first train departs, and I feel tired enough to want to call a taxi. I only remain alone in the cold. Sitting on a bench in this vacant park, gazing at the sky as the clouds gradually drift away. Yes, I couldn't even move.
Good evening.
And yet, Setsuna had rushed to where I was in a taxi as I stood helplessly in the middle of the night.
Here, take this disposable heat pack. Put it in your pocket and you'll feel nice and warm. Oh, what am I saying?
Setsuna's hand sends a warmth across my entire body that's stronger than the heat of the heat pack she handed me.
Good work today, Haruki-kun.
Setsuna! As I thought, her voice, which I haven't so much as heard in 2 weeks, is still full of the undiminished tenderness it always held.
I'm sorry for not contacting you all this time. I'm sorry for letting you suffer.
However, Setsuna has no need to apologize to me for the 2 weeks she spent being absent from my life. Sorry. I'm sorry, Setsuna. I really am incapable of supporting her. I made a promise, after all, that I wouldn't run away from Kazusa, that I'd stay by Kazusa's side from now on. I promised to put Kazusa at ease, and I promised that I wouldn't meet Setsuna again until I'd accomplished all that. No, perhaps it was a mistake to even suggest I would be able to support her in the first place. In the end, it was all pointless.
It's really nothing like that at all.
That's why Setsuna didn't reply to me, no matter how many times I sent her texts filled with more excuses. Just as we promised. I can't do it after all. I only cause her to suffer more by being with her. I'm turning into a bed of thorns for her. And yet, it didn't even take 5 minutes before she called me back after I sent her a short "help me." She must have seen all those texts, even though she hadn't replied to any of them. Setsuna must have seen all of the texts I sent her.
Can you talk to me about it?
And so, she'd come here. Setsuna, come back to me.
Tell me everything that's happened these 2 weeks. How much you've worked hard, Haruki-kun. And how much you've been held down as well.
Setsuna accepted me when I, like Kazusa, ran away from the painful reality and sought salvation from her.
Tell me what you desire now, Haruki-kun.
Setsuna! Setsuna was looking at me with a compassionate gaze, So I slowly reach out my hand and stand up as if desiring her, so I can cry in her chest.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Finally, Setsuna and Kazusa have met once again. I've been thinking they should be talking to each other ever since the incident in Strasbourg. But now they're finally doing it. But is this going to be too little, too late?